Hello and welcome to this short demonstration of SHL's Enterprise Leader Development Solution. My name is John and I'm part of the solution team here at SHL, and I'll be spending the next few minutes demonstrating how our solution helps you target development so that your leaders can create highly engaged and high-performing teams. We'll go through each aspect of the solution. Firstly, having a look at the assessments that your leaders will take. We'll then take a look at the automated development reports that are generated after they take those assessments. And finally, we'll look at the dashboards of insights that help you identify your leadership group's critical skills gaps. So your participants will start off by taking the Occupational Personality Questionnaire, also known as the OPQ, and an optional 360. So let's look at that experience, starting with the OPQ. Now, the OPQ is an assessment that forms part of many SHL solutions, as the personality data that it generates can be used to support many talent decisions, from hiring through to where to target development. Now, it can also be used to identify high potentials, or to support succession decisions, or to measure competencies or culture fit, or to find out if someone can be productive when working remotely. The list goes on and on. Now, the OPQ takes on average about 20 minutes to complete, and the great thing is you only need to assess your employees once. As once you have that pool of talent data, you can look at it through multiple dashboards on the SHL platform to support whatever people decisions that you need to make. But today we'll be looking at how that personality data can help you find the critical skills gaps amongst your leadership population. Now, if you're a current SHL user, you probably know the OPQ, but did you know that it was taken by over 1.5 million people across the world last year, and its scientific validity is second to none. And it's also seen as the best predictor of workforce potential in the world. Now, as I mentioned, alongside the OPQ, there is an optional 360, and that measures the performance improvements following the identification of a development need, which would have been identified by the OPQ. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to show that today, so please do get in touch if you'd like to discuss that feature any further. Now, for your information, both the OPQ and 360 are available for desktop, mobile and tablet. So you might be thinking, well, what's the process? Why do we need to collect this data? Well, SHL conducted a global study of nearly 1,000 leaders, and we knew who the successful ones were, and we uncovered what competencies they have in common. More specifically, which competencies make them successful in today's hybrid work world. Now, we found that today's successful leaders are strong in 3 critical areas. We found that they have transactional strengths, that's their ability to do their day-to-day tasks and execute on the company's strategy. They have transformational strength, and that refers to their ability to set direction and inspire change. And critically, they have network strengths, and that's their ability to build purpose-driven and energized teams that are great at collaboration and communication. So that's what this solution is all about. The platform looks at their OPQ and 360 data, and it uses that data to measure the competencies associated with each of these 3 key areas that you see on the screen. Now, the insights generated then allow you to target both individual and group leader development. Now, this solution is very important because the science tells us that leaders that have strengths in these 3 key areas, and that's only 12% of all leaders, by the way, have strengths in all 3 areas. People that do have teams that are significantly more innovative, adaptable, and crucially more engaged. But before we have a look at the dashboard of insights, let's look at what the participants receive once they've taken the OPQ and 360, and they instantly receive this personalized and automated feedback. Now, the automated feedback starts with a summary of how they fare against each of the 3 key areas, followed by deeper insights into each of those 3, breaking down their performance and potential against each of the competencies associated with these areas. So, for example, Under transformation leadership, like we have here, they'll see how they score against creating and conceptualizing, interacting and presenting, leading and deciding, and enterprising and performing. Now, further down the report, they get hints and tips and ideas and tasks that will help them to target their development and build those strengths in those key areas. So now we've seen the participants' experience, let's look at the dashboard of insights that the HR team and the C-level have access to. And you'll see just how simple it is to understand the capabilities of the leadership team and where you should target that all-important critical development. So what we're going to do now is a look at how the HR team or the senior leadership team can discover or get those insights into where the leadership team needs to develop. So first of all, I'm going to select which participants I want to measure. And we can do this in various different ways, by gender, location, group, whatever. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to select leaders in the United States. Let's select all of those and view that insight. Now, automatically, the platform looks at the individuals that we've selected and applies the science to that and sees where each of those individuals and the group as a whole measures up to the key competencies associated with being successful as a leader in today's day and age. Now, the first thing we see up here is that all 9 of the people that I wanted to look at are included. If there's anyone that's not completed any of the assessments, then we would see that here, and it would send an automated response as a prompt for them to complete those assessments. We've got our headlines right at the top here, giving us some overview of what's on the page. And then we can look at the key leadership foundations. So that's those 3 overarching things: transformational, transactional, and network. And we can see where considerable development is needed in this example for transformational and transactional. Let's break each of these 3 key areas down further. And these are the competencies associated with transformational leadership that we saw earlier: creating, conceptualizing, interacting and presenting, leading and deciding, and enterprising and performing. You can see the distribution of those. And again, for the second area, transactional, these are the competencies associated and how the group forms against each of those areas. And again, the distribution. And the final area, network leadership. So building the network, energizing the network, creating interdependence and enabling that network. And again, we can see the distribution. We can also view this in table form. We can see the individuals and how they break down. So that was how we can target the group development in each of these key areas. Now let's look at the individuals, those 9 individuals that we wanted to view. So I'm going to look at Eve specifically. And this is her overall, so how she performs against each of those 3 key areas. So she does well on or above the group average for each 3 key areas. And we can break her capabilities down by each of those competencies. Now she's pretty strong in each of those areas. Now we can see that creating interdependence is an area for her that she probably needs some development in. So not only can we target the group development, but we could be more specific around individuals as well. So that was a brief and quick overview of SHL's Enterprise Leader Development Solution. Now, thank you for taking the time to watch this demonstration today, and please do feel free to visit shl.com for more information or to contact us, and I will see you soon.